Hi everyone, my name is Gary. Welcome to Spiritual Essentials, a practical spirituality series where I cover spiritual tools that are already proven to be helpful, which you can start using today to either begin or enhance your spiritual journey. Lucid dreaming is one of the most popular subjects that come up in practical spirituality discussions. Many have either tried it or are at least very curious about its exciting possibilities. Having a thought-provoking conversation with Mozart, Lao Tzu, or Nikola Tesla in a dream, or designing your own castle, exploring the depth of your psyche through journeys filled with symbolism, and even traveling to other countries or planets. All this and more is possible in a lucid dream. But are those experiences real or imagined? I won't answer this question for you, but I'll point you to the answer so you could make your own conclusions. My journey into lucid dreaming started not out of curiosity, but out of necessity. And so, this practice is deeply personal to me. But this is a story for another time. When lucid dreaming is mentioned in a conversation, you generally get one of the following types of reaction. The practitioners, always a pleasant surprise. They light up and begin to tell you about their experiences and adventures with lucid dreaming and their theories about the mechanics of the phenomenon and the nature of reality. The fearful, either cautiously curious or completely avoidant. I tend to back off politely when I encounter this group. Lucid dreaming is a subject of superstition and can trigger some of humanity's deepest primal fears: the unknown, loss of control, and change. There's no need to rush anyone. The dismissive, an increasingly rare group of vocal skeptics. While quite prominent in many fields of psi research, they are rare in the lucid dreaming conversation due to how extensively it has been studied scientifically in recent years. Verifiable, measurable, and replicable, lucid dreaming is a scientific fact. But it is a vast new field of research, and some of the more esoteric facets do still deserve a dose of healthy skepticism. The curious, probably the most common reaction. Never tried it, but eager to experience lucid dreaming. If you're watching this video, you more likely than not belong to this group. But regardless of which camp you find yourself in, I hope you enjoy this presentation. So, why should you try lucid dreaming? There are many reasons, but here are some of the scientifically supported benefits. You can improve your ability for problem solving by running simulations in the dream, rehearsing scenarios, and testing possibilities. You can perform deep shadow work by getting closure with people from your past or present, having difficult conversations that you avoid in the wakeful state, accessing deep-rooted fears, beliefs, and behavioral patterns. You can work on creative projects, expand the limits of your imagination. There's no limit to the size of your canvas and the quantity, quality, and variety of your paints, and things happen much faster and easier than they do in the real world. You can use your dream time for deep meditation or exploration. Talk to the dream subjects and see how they respond. How aware are they? How aware are you? But of course, you don't have to stop there when you can explore the more mystical alleged benefits that science has not yet measured. You can leverage lucid dreaming for improving your health by summoning healing imagery like a chalice with elixir of life and youth to drink from every night, or summon Archangel Raphael to place his healing hands on your wounds. It's not a replacement for real-world doctors, so please don't treat it as such, but it can be a powerful boost on your health journey. You can enable multiplayer, so to speak, and play around with your friends or random strangers from the dream lobby. Just remember that in this case, you'll need to learn how to set up a firewall first. But don't let this scare you. If you're just getting started, you have a long way to go before this possibility becomes available to you, and you'll know how to protect yourself by then. You can meet entities from other worlds, planets, or dimensions, or from thousands of years ago, and gain wisdom, knowledge, and insight from them, if they like and trust you. Lastly, some would claim that the boundaries of time and space are much more fluid in the dreamscape, allowing you to travel anywhere in the world, the distant past, or even a possible future. Even if you're skeptical of the esoteric claims, the scientifically backed benefits alone are enough to make lucid dreaming worth trying. And if you're scared of sleep paralysis, it's worth knowing that learning to lucid dream actually helps reduce or overcome sleep paralysis when it happens. That's actually how I got into lucid dreaming. But I'll tell you more about that another time. Now, let's highlight a few famous examples of historical lucid dreamers, before we go on to talk about what lucid dreaming actually is. For example, Thomas Edison, who was known to have a daily daytime nap ritual to which he attributed much of his success in business and innovation. Nikola Tesla, an iconic scientist and inventor who reportedly used lucid dreams to test his theories and run simulated experiments. Dmitry Mendeleev, arguably the most influential figure in the field of chemistry, who claimed to have envisioned the periodic table of elements in a dream. And Christopher Nolan, whose film Inception, which demonstrates some of the possibilities of lucid dreaming beautifully, was inspired by his own lucid dreaming experiences. Those are just a few examples to give you an idea about how widespread lucid dreaming actually is. And while some of the great inventions and works of art that came in dreams can be attributed not directly to lucid dreaming, but to hypnagogia or dream incubation techniques, those states are closely related to each other, and if you master one, you can more easily master the others or even experience them spontaneously. Lucid dreaming is the experience of becoming consciously aware that you are dreaming while still inside the dream. When we're dreaming, the judging faculty of our mind is completely or largely inactive. This allows for absurd events to occur without us questioning them while in a dream. Dream reality follows different laws than the waking state. In wakefulness, the physical reality is solid and changes are slow. It allows for more stability and planning. In the dream, events unfold rapidly, situations shift quickly, and coherence is dictated by our immediate conscious or unconscious expectations. When you become aware in the dream, a part of the judging faculty comes back online. You become less consumed by the stream of events in the dream. The more awake you become, the more control you gain over the dream reality. Ideally, you are able to maintain the awareness long enough so you can actually influence the dream, control the events, create and interact with objects, fly, talk to people, and so on. Here, having a premeditated plan of action becomes very useful. More on that in the next chapter. A common fear of people who avoid lucid dreaming is the possibility of getting stuck in the dream. And while the fear of being trapped is psychologically understandable, in practice, it's very misguided. The biggest problem that arises in a lucid dream is the struggle to actually stay in it. Most attempts only last a few seconds. After that, you either get kicked out and wake up, or you get overwhelmed by all the possibilities, and while you're trying to decide what to do, your awareness lowers, and you get sucked back into the scenario and return to normal dreaming. Lucid dreams can vary in intensity. Researchers and experienced dreamers often distinguish between low-level lucidity, where the dreamer is aware they are dreaming but may feel like an observer or lack full control, and high-level lucidity, where the dreamer retains full awareness, memory of the waking life, and the ability to shape or direct the dream with clarity and intention. Of course, when we practice lucid dreaming, we are aiming for the high-level lucidity. But low-level lucidity is valid too, and it's useful to know about it when tracking and analyzing your progress. But how does one actually achieve the state of lucidity in a dream? And how does one deepen and maintain it? Let's find out in the next chapter. I'm personally familiar with 3 main methods of inducing lucid dreaming. The one that's been most effective for me is the indirect method. You wake up after at least 5 hours of sleep and set a clear intention that you will wake up again and remember to enter a lucid dream right away. Then go back to sleep after 15 to 30 minutes. After the second time you wake up, it's important to avoid moving or opening your eyes during this second awakening. This helps you catch the moment of transition between sleep and wakefulness and re-enter the dream consciously. There are different methods of re-entry, but the simplest one is to visualize yourself back in the dream. I would also include lucid dreaming during daytime naps under this category, and in my experience, it's the most effective way to access lucid states. In the direct method, you create an intention to remain conscious as you're falling asleep in the evening. Catching the transition moment takes practice and patience, especially if you're very tired and your consciousness is eager to shut down and rest. But if you stick with it and master this technique, you gain much greater control over your mental states as a reward. The learning curve is steeper, but the result is more consistent outcomes and deeper, longer sessions of lucid dreaming. Daytime practices are things you can do during the day to condition yourself for lucid dreaming and increase your chances of entering it. While they can be used as standalone techniques to trigger lucid dreaming, they work best in combination with one or more of the active methods. In dream journaling, you write down your dreams as soon as you wake up. Don't wait until later, because there's always a risk of forgetting the dream completely once you're distracted. Over time, you can start noticing patterns in your dreams and recall greater details, as well as longer segments. Getting familiar with your dreamscape will naturally help you become more aware in your dreams, increasing lucidity over time, especially if you set the intention to journal specifically for lucid dreaming development purposes. Another common method is reality checks, where you set up an alarm to go off every hour. When you hear the alarm, pause what you're doing and perform the reality check. It doesn't take long, but it's important to give it your full attention. Here are some examples of techniques you can experiment with. Look at your hands and check if they have a consistent shape and color and generally look as you would expect them to. You can also try pushing one hand through the other. If you succeed, you know you're in a dream. Find some text in a book, magazine, or on a poster. Read a few sentences. Notice the font, size of the letters, and phrasing. Look away and then look at the text again. Did anything change? If so, you're dreaming. Ask yourself, am I dreaming? And then scan your environment for inconsistencies, like shifting forms, unusual objects, or brightly colored animals like green cats or purple dogs. Take this task seriously and be pragmatic about the search, really weighing the possibilities of certain things being real or dreamed up. As I mentioned before, there's no need to worry about getting lost or stuck in a lucid dream. The real challenge is to be able to stay in it for longer than a few seconds. That's where immersion techniques come in. In order to not get overwhelmed and distracted, make a list of dream tasks before you start the session. A common example of one of such tasks is to find a mirror and look at yourself in it. Notice any differences in your appearance. You can use any reflective surface around you. This one doubles as a re-entry technique for the indirect method, or even as a reality check. Another task example is to find or create a meal of your choice and try to eat it. Notice the taste, smell, texture, and visuals. The more details you notice, the more vivid and solid the objects become. You can also think of an activity you would like to try in a dream, something exciting that you can't do in wakeful state, like skydiving into a pool of chocolate milk. Anything is possible, just don't make it too complex when you're getting started, because you'll get overwhelmed and lose lucidity. Another immersion technique you could try is to simply walk around your environment in the dream and interact with objects. Lift a cup, feel its weight in your hand, the cool smoothness of the ceramic surface, and the little squeak it makes as you rub your thumb against it. Brush your hand on any fabric you see around you, wool or silk. Feel the textures. Thump your feet on the floor. Is it wood? Is it stone? Just don't get distracted by the details, and remember that the purpose of this exploration is to deepen your lucidity, not to lose it. It's a delicate balance, but you can master it with practice. The techniques described in this video are ones that I've studied and tried personally. I invite you to do your own research and experiment with other methods and techniques. Treat this presentation as a foundation and explore further to find what resonates with you. My main sources are the books by Carlos Castaneda, which you can find on Amazon and other bookstores, as well as the materials from Michael Raduga, the founder of REMspace. You can visit their website at remspace.net for free resources and guidance. I invite you to try lucid dreaming for yourself and experience the exciting possibilities and insights it provides. I'd love to hear about your experience, so please feel free to share it in the Discord group. The link will be in the description, or in the comments below. What is something you'd like to do in a lucid dream? What is your biggest motivation for trying lucid dreaming? Do you think the dreamscape is an actual reality, or is it just all in our heads? Let me know what you think. I hope you found this video helpful and learned something new. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos like this. This was only part 1 of a 3-part lucid dreaming series, and it only gets more interesting from here. If you'd like to support me even more and see more of my work, I invite you to take a look at the links in the description, where you will find my Etsy store, my website, Instagram, and my first journal, a beginner-friendly journaling tool. And with that, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.